Live with Amina. Okay, Amina, I hope you are ready. There we go. I welcome you everyone this live. Hello, Amina.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here in my live.
Thank you. Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
And yeah, I've been telling the followers here that you are a very special guest. Actually, it's the first time I have someone from outside Morocco. I've had guests before. They're all English teachers from here, from Morocco. And
Awesome.
I'm looking forward actually to have a deep discussion with you because I think you have a very special experience with the English language, with writing as well. So just between quotes, I'll let you introduce yourself to the audience here. So they're so happy to hear from you.
So, hello everybody, and oh, sorry, I'm just speaking English. My name is Amina Mejdoubi.
If you want to use Arabic from time to time, it's okay, because most of my followers here are interested in the English language. So if you want to use some Arabic, they all understand Arabic. It's okay.
Awesome. So, as I said, my name is Amina Mejdoubi. I am Moroccan American, and I'm actually an English language arts teacher. I'm not an arts teacher. I'm an English teacher. So in the US, English language arts is basically just like literature, and that's what I'll be teaching in the fall. Actually, that's.
So do you teach Americans or Moroccans? Who do you teach?
No, I teach Americans.
You teach Americans English?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, and I'm also an author. I write micro poetry, just poetry, but it's very short and sweet. And what else do I do?
You do many things, right? Yeah.
I try.
So let me ask you a question. So let's start with something. So you, of course, you have immigrated to the United States. At what age?
I was actually 20 when I came here.
All right.
Yeah.
So how many years have you spent already there?
So I'm 33 now, and I guess I've been here for
12. Yeah.
It's been 12
years. Good in mathematics. Yeah. So 12 years. So it's a pretty long time, actually. Do you visit Morocco from time to time?
Absolutely. I'm supposed to be there now, but because of COVID-19, I'm not able to travel. So maybe next year, inshallah, I hope.
Yeah, where are you from originally, from here in Morocco?
So even though I was born in Rabat and I like grew up in Sla, I always feel Wajdiya because my parents are from Oujda, and that's just where I feel like I'm from. I'm Wajdiya. So
so you feel like your roots are from Oujda. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you tell us about your this immigration or this movement from Morocco to tell us about this experience? How did it come? Was it a plan? Did you plan for it, or it just come in the way, or did you have some project to do in the United States? What happened?
Honestly, أنا كنت كنقرا لونجلي في college like university في المغرب وكان بحال بزاف ديال الناس اللي تيقراو لونجلي كان الحلم ديالي انني نجي للميريكان. So and يعني الوالدين ما فحالهمش بزاف and I always dreamed about it and I remember حتى بابا كان تيقول لي ما تعلقيش فين تفلقي. But this was my journey and I came to the US as an exchange student and I was actually supposed to stay here for 4 months. And just for an exchange student program situation, go back to my country. And then when I was an exchange student, I applied for a scholarship. And but I came prepared because I brought all my documents. I had translated everything, and my dad didn't even know. And I came prepared, and I was like, "Hey,
you thought you were going to go back."
Yes, but I didn't have that plan. I knew I was gonna stay there somehow. And I planned for it and I translated my documents, I got everything ready. I even asked my teachers to write me letters of like recommendation. وانا ما كنتش عارفه راسي واش غلقى اصلا شي scholarship or not, and I applied for 3 scholarships and I got 3 of them and I chose the best one. And that's it. The rest is history.
That's good. So this scholarship you applied for, was it for studying? What major?
It was what we call a graduate assistantship, and when you get the graduate assistantship, you basically can study. It covers your tuition and it covers books, and they also pay you because you work at school. You work for the college.
Yeah.
And it had the graduate assistantship. اي واحد يقدر ياخذها في اي دومين. يعني الا كنتي كتقرا سيونس فيها الجرادويت اسيستنشيب، انا كنت دايره لونجلي. So I did my master's in curriculum instruction and communication arts, but mainly masters of education. So it's, you know, because I had my bachelor's in English studies for Maghreb.
Yeah, so you had your yeah.
Yes, don't want to forget. I want to talk about something. Tomorrow, actually, I am going to be doing a Zoom with more learning, and I will be talking about scholarships, bachelor's degree scholarships, and master's degrees. So maybe at the end of this, I can send you their page, and all students have to do is to go like register to their page and register and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. I've done one workshop with them just two weeks ago. It was pretty good, actually. Yeah. So I like the job they're doing. Actually, they're helping people for free, which is a good thing, actually. Yes, giving like workshops and formations for free. This is pretty interesting things. So Amina, I actually, the people, I think most of the people here are interested to know exactly this switch from Morocco to the United States. This was it like a challenge for you? Did it have like a cultural shock or something, or you were already prepared to the American culture and think you got integrated into the American culture like easily, or you find it difficult? How was it?
So I feel like I always say this, nothing can prepare you for an experience like this, really. I don't care how many movies you watch, I don't care how many songs you know. When you come and live here, it's pretty different in many ways and shapes and forms. So I had what I call a double culture shock experience, because my first culture shock experience was coming and being in the US, and my English was not as strong as now. Like, I used to be so nervous to talk around people. I used to not be able to answer the phone. And I also traveled to العربية American, which was a different culture shock.
Yeah.
مشيت لها عربية, and I was like, what, like, this doesn't look like the US. Like, where is Times Square? Where are the malls? Where is this? Where is that? And there was nothing. So,
did you live there? Did you live in the country or just visited from time to time? Did you live there in the country?
I actually lived there in 2 years, and that's where I went to school. But I always remembered that I had free education and that I had to suck it up because I was getting free master's degree. So you have to compromise, you know?
Yeah, sure. I see that now that you have spent this time in the United States, what do you recommend to people here? People are asking, how can we get such opportunities to travel to the United States? Is it easy? Is it difficult?
So this is the answer to this question is what I'm gonna answer tomorrow. It's a lot. I'm gonna go in. Just tomorrow. Sorry.
Like hints, you know.
To be honest, there are so many ways to just come to the US, but one of them, and that's what I know, is like how to get scholarships and make it here. This is what I know, and that's, you know, there are so many scholarships available for people that are interested. You really just have to put in the time and know what you're doing, and where to look. And as long as you have those resources and you're like level-headed, because it's a lot. Like so this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
When I go live, when غادي ندير هذاك الزوم meeting مع more learning, I am going to be talking about different types of scholarships, but I'm also going to provide more learning with like a lot of universities that are offering scholarships right now, and also some websites. So those hopefully غادي تكون la responsabilité ديال more learning to share those resources with their followers or their audience. So it'll be available for people.
That's good. So this is a call for you, all of you guys watching this live. Amina is going to be like tomorrow, I think. Is it tomorrow?
No, actually it's next Wednesday. And maybe
Wednesday.
They should just like check the page and get more information.
So next Wednesday, Amina is going to be live on Zoom with more learning. Of course, the people here are already aware of the more learning because they've seen it before. So the more learning, and she's going to provide you with some universities, some very useful stuff that can help you get opportunities, or at least have a clear idea about how to get there, how to go to the United States. Actually, this wasn't our topic. The people here are really interested in other things, actually. Apart from going to the United States and stuff like that. Now, people here are realizing the importance of the English language as a language that is widely used all over the world. And everyone now is speaking about how can we learn the language. I see that, you've spent 12 years in the States, and this gives you the chance to learn or to enrich your vocabulary, to have a good accent. Did you have that accent before you immigrate, or you just develop it there?
My accent?
Yeah.
I feel like my accent definitely became less Moroccan, if I would say, when I lived here, especially because I lived in a place where there aren't a lot of Arabs before. So I had to speak to Americans every single day to convey any feeling I have or any idea I have. So living here definitely helps, but I don't think that's the only thing. I'm also an English language teacher, and I read and I write, so that helps me as well. I just learned a new word today. Like, I don't know everything. I just learned a new word. I was reading a book. I was like, I don't know what this means. Looked it up, and now it's registered in my mind.
I see that word. The one that you posted in your stories. I think it's heed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to pay attention to something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know the word.
Yeah, sure. So you're learning every day. It's like, this is a message to everyone. Some people, they say, well, I can speak the language. I have the basic vocabulary, so I don't have to like read more or do other stuff. So they just stop. This is a mistake, actually.
Let me tell you something. You will never be able to learn all the language. ما غاديش يجي شي نهار اللي غتقول okay, I learned the language and I'm done. Because there's always something that you are gonna learn. There's always something you don't know. So I think even as a teacher, I always think of myself as a learner and as someone that's open to learning. And personally, reading helps me so much. Like ما غاديش نبقى نحل right now at least كنت كندير شحال هادي, but ما غاديش نحل ديكسيونير just like randomly and be like, oh, let me find a word I don't know. But when you read, it exposes you to words you don't know, and then therefore you learn them.
That's interesting, because me, I myself also sometimes, I'm a teacher of English. I teach English, and from time to time I come across, like, in the curriculum, in my books, in the books I use for to teach my students, I find words that I don't know. So each time I ask this question, I should keep on learning. I should keep on studying and reading and do all these stuff. So my other question to you, some people are asking, you are an English teacher, you teach English. So what is the best way that beginners, people who have just started learning the language, can use it in order to improve their fluency? Most people now, they want fluency. They want to speak like fluent, like native speakers. And they want to have this accent, this sweet American or British accent. They're wondering, how can we get that? Is there a magic way or something?
There's absolutely no magic way. I think.
Yeah, sure. There's no magic way.
And I think I'm gonna say something that they've heard it before over and over again. It's really just practicing and speaking to natives. That's what gets you that accent, because your ear gets used to to a certain intonation and gets used to certain pronunciation. Because when I first learned English, I think I think my English was more British, because I used to go to and studied at the British Council, and then I came to the US, and I think my English is very American right now. So I think your ear has to be exposed, So I know you heard it before, but keep watching your movies, keep listening to music, and also just like have a conversation مع راسك. I used to have conversation with myself on the mirror all the time.
It's okay. It's okay.
It helped me. Yeah.
It helps, and it's a good practice. I always tell the guys here this. Just go discuss something with yourself, something that is bothering you, something that is on your mind, something you want to analyze. Just go in front of the mirror or record yourself, maybe. Just record yourself. Pick up your phone, stand there, and just speak about it. Feel free to speak. Say anything you want. This will help your tongue, like practicing your tongue and practicing your mouth muscles.
Yeah, for sure. And I think right now, like it's 2020, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of forums where people can just like find Americans that are volunteering to help, you know, English language learners. And yeah. Sure,
they're all over. They're all over. We just have to pick some people who have like some good accent and some people that we can enjoy listening to, actually, because you can't practice with an Indian, for example. You'll suffer a lot.
I think that's a little racist, but okay. But I don't like it. But
you didn't get what I mean, actually.
I understand. They have a heavy accent.
This is learning. When I speak about learning, I don't put like people inside. So when I say Indians with the language, it's like, what do you want? How do you want to speak? You want to speak like Americans, you should speak to Americans. Okay?
But also we can't really, but also it's really not their language for us to, you know what I mean? To judge their English. هل مغربي ولا Egyptian اللي هضر بالانجليزية أنا راه ما خاصناش يضحكوا عليه, because that's not our you know, their language.
Yeah, sure. I say this. You said it, actually. You said it. You said that we should practice with native speaker. Didn't you say that? Yeah, because we want to
100%. Oh yeah, 100%.
If an American wants to learn the language, wants to learn the Arabic language, would he practice with an American who had learned the Arabic, or
no? I totally agree.
This is the idea. When I said that don't speak to an Indian, I didn't mean it like in this way. Just go to an Australian, to a British, or to someone who looks like native. Sometimes some people, they speak like native. They are not English is not their native, is their mother tongue, but they can speak it really good. So so the advice, you advise people to go and watch movies, but some people, they say, well, we watch movies. Well, we do all these stuffs for a long time, and still we didn't improve. We are like, we're stuck. We're in the same place. Well, are there some techniques, some ways, something that can help us boost our vocabulary, boost our speaking skills?
Okay, let me tell you something. And as an English teacher, my students are not the best. My students are probably watching me, but you know, all my students are not like the best writers. They struggle with writing and reading. I have very few students who read on grade level. So I'm going to tell you something that you probably don't want to hear, because most people don't like reading. But if you have the habit of picking up a book and reading it every single night, even if you do 20 minutes, okay, if you're an avid reader, you accidentally learn 1,000 words every single year. Accidentally. À part les mots اللي انت كتقول I don't get it, let me find it.
هادشي بلا ما تعرف بانك كتعلم, بلا ما تمشي تقلب.
Unconsciously.
Just unconsciously.
Yes, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Research says that. Research says that if you read every single day for 20 minutes and become an avid reader, you do learn accidentally 1,000 words. So imagine if you actually read and you're conscious about what you're reading and you're looking things up. Reading will help you become a better writer and a better speaker, period. Because when you're reading something, automatically you're exposing your eyes and your mind to the structure of writing. You're looking up new words.
You get a style, develop your style also. Style of writing.
100%, yeah. I think if people start reading, they will see a huge difference in their English. Just the amount of English they will acquire and the quality of English they will acquire will be better for sure. But we know that younger people don't like to read. We know that.
Sure. That's probably one of the problems or the issues that we Moroccans have, or the Arabs. So we don't read, or we don't have this attitude or this habit of reading. So any ways or any things we can do to develop this skill, this habit of reading? Because some people, they get tired, or they are not really interested in reading. They rather, for example, for novels. Some people they'd rather look up a movie that speaks about the novel rather than going and reading the book. Yeah.
Someone, let me come back. I'm gonna grab something. I'm gonna grab a book. Okay.
Sure,
to answer this question. So somebody just asked, or you asked me to, like, what are some strategies, or you asked, what can I read? So I also don't love reading. Like, I mean, I do. I honestly, now I do. But I love reading people's stories. I just enjoy reading real, like, nonfiction, and I love reading real people's stories. So I know that for me, anything nonfiction, anything story helps me. So I always pick up autobiographies. I actually started it, but I'm going to come back to it. This is Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, and it's so interesting. بحال كتفرج فيلم غير انت كتقراه. And it's amazing. It's a good book, and it's written really well, so you don't want to put it down. So this is the type I like to read, but I also like to read self-help books, books that will help you become a better person and help you.
Self-development.
You know. So this is 101 essays that will change the way you think. I love this book, and I talk about it all the time.
What's the name of that book?
Me too.
Last one?
101 essays that will change the way you think. This is my second time reading it. I remember saying, I finished it a long time ago, and I said, in the summer, I'm going to reread this book, so I have the chance to reread it again. And this is what I love. But if you give me a book about science, I'm probably not going to read it. So to answer your question is, read about what you love. Read about what you love.
That's all about
people. When you read about, then you enjoy it, actually. Like this morning, I went to a park, and that's all I did. I was reading in a park, and that's actually something I enjoy doing. So I remember to go to the park to read. It's like a self-care.
You read like every day?
In the summer, I do, but when I'm working, it's so crazy. I have zero time. I don't read every day. It's more of a weekend thing, or even twice a week. But you know, if I'm being honest, but right now I have time and I have nothing to do. I better read something.
Yeah, there are many temptations nowadays. People are being tempted by the media, Netflix, YouTube, all these resources, TV, football. This is tempting, actually, because people they rather watch and listen or do some activities or practice sport rather than reading. People, they find like reading something hard, something like heavy on their hearts. They can't like keep up. Even if they start reading, actually, they can
not enjoyable
2 or 3 days and then they stop. It happens actually to me. Actually, I start reading a book and then I get bored like easily. Even if it's a story, it's a novel, anything.
Maybe the book you're reading is not great, and there are some books مكتوبين بواحد الطريقة اللي كتبغيك تقتلك. No, I'm gonna pick up a book that actually makes me not want to put it down. And before getting into the habit of reading, I think I used to read the wrong books, and I would find myself distracted, like grabbing my phone. Right now, when I was in the park, I left my phone in the car for a while before I grabbed it again, and I was like, okay, like now I can talk to, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to strictly read. But how can I say it? Like distractions and temptations are everywhere. It is really up to us to organize our day. So earlier, I already read my book, right? So maybe I will hang out on Instagram for a little bit. That's okay. But Instagram all day. That's really not going to get you anywhere in your whole life. Like sometimes my students are like, I can't put my phone down. I'm like, just put your goddamn phone down. There's no, like, just put it down.
It's easy to say that, but actually when it comes to reality, it's really difficult.
But I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to do this.
No, I'm not speaking about me. I'm speaking about
like in general. And I'm challenging the audience in general. Like maybe pick a book that you think you're gonna love. Pick it up, right? And then put your phone down. خلي تليفونك في الدار وسير سيدي شي بارك ولا شي قهوة ولا في شي بلاصة ولا غير البيت الآخر. Okay? And then read it. And just forget about your phone. ويديك غير ياكلوك وغتبقى تقول oh my god I want to take my Instagram. حتى شي واحد ما غيكون صيفط لك المسج أو just read your book, enjoy it and learn some English.
I see. Most people they like to learn English, but this method of learning English through reading is rare, in my opinion. So there are like, if I can say, like 40% of the people who learn English learn it through reading. The others, they learn it through listening. And this is not a mistake. I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but when you read, it's like you get many things at the same time. Sometimes when you read, and especially when you read out loud, it's like you're practicing speaking. You're bettering also your pronunciation or your accent. You're making it better. But if you read out loud, not read silently, of course, because when you read for the purpose to learn the language, you should read out loud. Not like when you learn in your mother tongue, it's okay to read like silent. Okay?
But so also go ahead.
And you get yourself exposed also to the words, how they are written. So you are learning spelling. Also, you're learning spelling. You're learning.
And you're learning the structure of writing and so much. But I'm going to go back to the idea of listening to music or movies. The difference between watching a movie and reading a book is that the language that you are going to learn from reading a book is academic language. The language that you're going to learn from the song is street language. So are you really going to use your street language in an essay? Sure. Probably not. So reading is not comparable to watching a movie. Those are two different things. Sure. You want to learn spoken English? Watch a movie, listen to podcasts.
Just want to interrupt you for 1 second. I have students and I have teenagers. I teach teenagers from 12 to 15. Let's say 12 to 15, and I sometimes hear some words that are coming from songs and coming from movies, and these words, most of the time, they're bad words. And the students here, they think that these words are normal. Why? Because they've heard them in songs, they've heard them in movies. So they think that that is English. But actually, that's not the English I want to teach you. I want to teach you an English that you can use to speak with respected people, with bosses, with employers, with someone respected, not the English of the street. See what I mean?
So, yes, 100%. And listen to something. So, أنا كنقري أمريكانيين. غير حيت هو أمريكاني ça veut pas dire كيعرف يكتب مزيان ولا كيعرف يقرا مزيان. I have students اللي هما مولودين هنايا ولكن they cannot write an essay. They cannot write an essay. And then they get confused because they في الأول العام and they're like, what? You're from Morocco but you're teaching me English? I'm like, yes, because I have a master's degree and my academic English is strong. And that's what you're lacking. You're lacking academic English. I heard Sana, I think she said, get audiobooks. Audiobooks are a gift. وكاينين بزاف free في YouTube. Audiobooks are amazing. Instead of, okay, انت غادي خدمتك, instead of listening to music, really get in the habit واخا تقول مثلا, okay, every Wednesday and every Monday, I'm gonna listen to my audiobook in the car. The other day is music. And then you listen to my brother is here, Sami, and then you listen to English, academic English, obviously. Ula podcasts are free. They're amazing. They teach you so much.
Yeah, sure. Audiobooks also helps you also. Yeah, especially if you can't like pick up a book and read it. If you don't have this habit, you can just get into habit of listening to books, which is pretty interesting. Just a comment about this idea. American students and Moroccan teacher. Actually, I find this very amazing. To go from an Arabic-speaking country to an English-speaking country and to teach them how to write their own language. That's pretty impressive. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel really good because this is not something ماشي فقط وليت an English teacher. I've had to go to school for so long. And somebody actually asked about how to become a teacher in the US, and I could touch, you know, based on that. But I think fluent, because let me tell you something. I have a slight accent. I know I don't sound like I do, but I do have the slightest accent, and my students can detect that because they're Americans. And a lot of students are just curious about learning about my culture and learning about where I come from, like my story. And eventually they learn some Arabic. Like most of my students can say mashallah, they can say bzef. A lot of my students, you know, we exchange our cultures, and it's just fun once they trust me.
That's good, actually. That's impressive. And people here are asking, did you have like some feeling of being not comfortable with that, or you're okay with that to teach Americans English? Is there anything that happened to you in the past like caused you some discomfort about this idea of teaching Americans English?
So when I first started teaching, so here's the thing. I am endorsed in English language arts, which is literature, l'anglais, writing and all that. But I'm also I have a certification in English as a second language to teach refugees and immigrants. I feel like when I first started teaching, I was very comfortable teaching immigrants and refugees because I knew that they didn't know English and that they wouldn't judge me. And I was not even confident with my own skills as a teacher, as an English speaker. But in the last 3 years, I think I just pushed myself and I was like, you know what? I can do it. And I started teaching at a school, Bruce Randolph School. I love you because they're watching me. I started teaching at Bruce Randolph, and my students are born here. And I realized that I actually excelled in my job. When I was teaching ESL and they were giving me my ratings, I never got distinguished. I always got good, which is not bad. Yeah. But distinguished is like excellent. And then when I started teaching English language arts, I got distinguished, which just made me realize, like, what if I never pushed myself? I would never know that I have this potential. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if they're born here and I'm not. And even though I am American right now, but there's nothing in me that feels American, to be honest. And I'm Mغربية 100%. So it's a mixed feeling, but it's a good feeling.
Yeah, sure. Actually, like this, actually, the job of teaching is really tiring from time to time. Do you have like to teach all the week, or how many hours do you teach per week, or?
I teach every day, Monday through Friday, from 7:15. That's my first hour class. No, sorry. Yeah, I have to be in school at 7:15, and I finish at 3:30.
Yeah.
And I teach 5 classes. Yeah.
So it's really tiring, right? I don't have to ask this question. Teaching is
exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting because you are literally burning physical energy and emotional energy.
Sure.
أنا كنقري في واحد المدرسة. مدرستي title ديالها هو hard to teach and hard to staff. So the population of the kids that we get in our school كيكونوا عندهم علاقة بالجانج members. So وكيكونوا فقيرين وتيكونوا عندهم horrible lives.
What is the age range there of your students?
From 14 to like 18, 19.
Yeah, so they're old enough, right? Yeah, teenagers, right? It's pretty hard actually to deal with this age. It's very, very difficult.
It's so hard because their emotions are all-time high. Everybody wants attention, and you have to be there for everybody, because if you like forget to make sure that someone is okay, they think you hate them. It's a lot. That's why I tell my friends. My friends know me. They know they can't call me the same day and say, let's hang out. I need my time. I need you to tell me, you know, like I have to recover as a teacher. When I go home, I have to recover from my day. For my students.
It's like you need that energy. The energy you're going to spend hanging out, it's like you need it for the next day. It's actually, you don't have to tell me about the job of teaching because I'm a teacher and I've experienced this. like for much, so I know what you're speaking about. Actually, teaching is very difficult. But the school you're teaching in, is it like a governmental school or private one, or what type of school?
It's a public school. It's a government school.
High school, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've heard actually many stories, and the people here in Morocco, they've heard many stories about high school in the United States. It's like, and most of us, we have like a very wrong idea about how high school is in the United States. Can you give us like an image of how the high school there? Because the image we gathered from movies and from series, it's I think it's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong. وغادي نهضر بالعربية دابا حيت هما كيتفرجوا فيا.
Yes.
So كيلبسوا اللي بغاو. Literally كيلبسوا اللي بغاو. واخا كيكون dress code enforced. في دارهم تيلبسوا اللي بغاو. So they come to school. إلا كان شي واحد دار شي حاجة غلط كيعطيوه شي تيشيرت ولا شي حاجة بات كيلبسوا اللي بغاو كيصدموني. And كيتصاحبوا من واحد لاج صغير بزاف. انا المدرسه اللي كنقري فيها ميدل سكول والهاي سكول. ميدل سكول كل 3 سيمانات كيمشيو كيلتقوا هذوك الدفار طوال، كيمشيو كتهضر معاك وكتبقى طق برهوشه ليترلي راسك في الارض. ميدل سكول I just like die. انا ما كنقدش. and also في المدرسه في كاع الهاي سكولز because كيكونوا sexually active كيعطيوهم لي بريزيرفاتيف في المدرسه. so هادشي زعما yes باش يكونوا safe. so it's like very common. ولكن نقول لك واحد الحاجه اللي it's weird. دابا شوف، انا نعطيك اكزامبل. هاد الايام هادو منين بدات الكوفيد 19 كنت بديت كنقري المغاربه ما كنعرفهمش. بديت كنقري الباك. اوكي، عندنا واحد الجروب في الواتساب كندير معاهم سوايع. هذا اول لايف ديالنا it was so disrespectful واحد الدرجه ما تخيلش. I'm not calling out Moroccans، غير كنقول لك I think دابا في أمريكان انا كنقري الدراري اللي literally كيخرجوا كيمشيو يتضاربوا بالغانز مع الاذر غانغ وتيجيو للكلاس عندي كيعرفوا راسهم خاصهم يقراو. like it's weird حيت كتلقى بنادم قدو قداش يهرب بيا كتقول له خدم they respect you. also انا عاوتاني، ولكن بلاتي ماشي هاد القضيه ما كتكونش في كاع لي كلاس حيت انا كيعرفوني كنقول لهم نتوما ملي كتدخلوا الكلاس ديالي نتوما في المغرب ما تبقاوش تفشوا عليا، ما عندناش في المغرب. sorry you have to do what you have to do. so انا strict، ولكن حتى المدرسه تتعاونك. لا هضر معك شي واحد ولا صدقك شي واحد وقال شي كلمه خايبه تتعيط للسيكوريتي and they remove them from class because if somebody is disturbing your class it's probably affecting everybody and nobody is learning.
Sure.
so they remove them. ما كايناش هذيك البساله اللي كنشوف بحال دابا في انستغرام واحد جايب البراد في القيصاب واحد كيطبل. راه كنطير ملي كنشوف داكشي. I have so much respect for Moroccan teachers.
ولكن ما كاينش بزاف هادشي اللي تكلمتي عليه دابا.
That's good.
It's common. Okay, it's not common. Yeah, there are some, and I believe that there are some respective students. كاينين students اللي هما باسلين everywhere فيما مشيتي. وكاينين ستودنتس اللي هما they respect. كاين حتى في المغرب شي ستودنتس اللي هما في الزنقه كيكونوا يعني فرعون، ولكن ملي كيجي للقسم كينضبط. كاينين ماشي ما كاينش بس
انا الا شفت كاس البراد في القسم يا اما غتجي تستقل بيا يا اما غنقول له عطيني شي كاس اتاي. ما كاينش in between. like I might just die.
كاين drugs. كاين students اللي كيجيبوا drugs into the classroom, especially in some public schools. Like public schools it's a disaster. Yes, drugs.
انا شوف انا قريت في public private school هنا is worse than public schools.
Really?
قريت في واحد المدرسه هنايا كنكرهها من اعماق القلب ديالي وانا ما كنكره حتى شي حاجه. I love everybody. هذيك المدرسه اصلا كانوا كيبغيو ترامب وكنت انا هي the only brown person. كلشي بيض I'm the only brown person and ما عندهمش exposure to culture. ما عندهمش exposure to culture. واحد النهار جيت بواحد القفطان واه هو يقول لي واحد واش انت عرفتي الناس. I was like why. قال لي لحقاش لابسه شميز دو نوي. اويلي لا القفطان ديال دبانه ولا ما عرفتش سميتو. قال لي شميز دو نوي. that was the worst school ever. كانت private and they were very rude. ما توحشت دوك التلاميذ. انا I have good relationship with التلاميذ ديالي. هذاك التلاميذ ما توحشتهم ما توحشوني. it's weird. but they have so much money. They love Trump.
Can you give me 1 minute? 1 minute?
Yes,
just one.
Sure. Yes. I'm just here by myself. خاصني ندير العقل. قال لك جايب تلفزيون دوني بلاتي واحد النهار جيت بواحد توربن فوق راسي قال لي علاش جايب الفوطه. كنت كنعاود لهم واحد النهار عاوتاني جيت بالتوربن فوق راسي قال لي علاش جايب الفوطه. واحد النهار لبست واحد التوربن فوق راسي قال لي علاش جايب الفوطه. Like, sir, I'm from Africa. المهم it was not a good experience. ما عجبنيش الحال تما.
Yeah, I know. I see. Many challenges. Teachers face challenges everywhere they go. Here in Morocco, you are Moroccan, and your students are Moroccan, and you face challenges. But how can you imagine if you are from a different country? I see you are.
عندي كنقري لي بلاك كنقري المكسيكانز ولا بلاك اكثر. بليز هذوك البويض ملي كنت كنقريهم شتي كدير مع اي كونتاكت وهذوك اللي لاباس عليهم ما كنتش I didn't understand it لاباس عليهم وكتكون كياكل شي حاجه وكتشوف فيه ما كيقول لك لا هاك دوق لا do you want some. هاد الناس اللي كنقريهم دابا اللي فقيرين they are giving and they love you and their parents love you, so it's a very different vibe.
Yes, it's everywhere actually. The poor people, they are most generous and they're most loving, but this is not a generalized idea, but غالب تيكونوا الفقراء هما اللي تيكونوا كيعطيو والاغنياء العكس. So anyways,
yes. Yeah.
We've heard lately about this outbreak in the United States, and actually we are sad about what is happening there. I don't know if you can tell us something about like the environment there, what the students are saying, how the people are interacting with these events of the killing of George Floyd and all these racism and things like that. How is the environment there?
Yeah, so I think this is a blessing in disguise, as we say. This is such an unfortunate event that happened that is really changing the course of how things are run in the United States. So I think it was just time for people to wake up and listen to Black people and treat them equally. So everything happened in summer break. Right now we're in summer break, but it's time for these conversations. It's time to discuss these uncomfortable topics, because a lot of people don't want to discuss these things. They're afraid, they're uncomfortable. So you know, I teach Black students. Their lives matter. I care about them, and it's really exciting to see what changes and what the future holds with all of these things that are happening. But what is going on is good. I don't like to talk about this from a negative standpoint, because a lot of negative things happened, like the looting and all of that. But change is happening. People are getting charged for killing other people. The cops are getting charged, and laws are being changed, which is really exciting.
That's good.
As a person of color, like I'm considered a person of color here.
Really? You are?
Everybody that is not Caucasian, that is not white, is a person of color. If you came to the United States, you would be considered a person of color. So Asians are people of color.
You need to be like pure whites to be considered.
You need to be 100% Caucasian to not be considered a person of color. So this is my problem too, you know. And even if I wasn't a person of color, it's a human problem. So I think it's time for people to just like care about it a little more.
I see. Actually, this is very, very, very sad, and I see it like a crazy idea. How can a human being like treat someone else like in a very disrespectful way and humiliate others just for the color of their skin? I see that this is an idea that is primitive. I don't see that primitive people who used to live in the very old ages or the very ancient ages can think like this way. And how about a democratic country, people who consider themselves as civilized and like, you know, the top of the world, like America. Now everybody is speaking about America as like the ideal country where you can live, but
it's really not. It's really not. No.
But
And
this
you
is
know,
the
Jamal
image
just
people are
said,
getting. This is the image people are getting everywhere in the world now.
yeah.
They're speaking about America as like the leader, like everything is better there.
Not really, honestly, not really. If I start talking about the problems that people face here, we might not finish. And
Yeah, yeah.
Jamal just said something. He just said it's a cultural issue more than skin issue. This has been rooted in the culture of just like America, that, you know, there's history, and having a president like Donald Trump is not helping this issue go away. He's a problem for this country, and he enables these racists to act on this hate
He's giving them the green light, like indirectly, in an indirect way.
Actually, recently he has been giving them the green light directly. So fuck Trump. I'm sorry, I have to say, I'm sorry, I said the F word.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So
I hate him.
He is speaking in a way. He used to speak actually in this way before even the elections. He used to say all these things about immigrants and speak about immigrants in a bad way. So which really give these people who think this way to behave, and to behave like knowing that no one will catch them. No one will pursue them. So this is a problem actually. So,
yeah, but you know what? For me personally, it's not easy. I'm not easily identified as Muslim. ولكن كنت أتمنى شي نهار يقول لي شي واحد شي حاجة. كنت أتمنى يا ربي, because that will be the greatest lesson in their life.
You are Muslim? They don't say that?
Like, I mean, if you see me in the streets, ما غاديش تقول, oh, she's Muslim. You know, like, I'm not easily identified. But if I ever, yes, from the way I present myself. ولكن لا جاب لي الله انا وراسي في شي زنقه ما كتخرج with a Trump supporter, I'm gonna be on the news.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the news. You're gonna be a headline, big headline. So that's good actually. I don't know if there are any questions for you guys. If you'd like to ask some questions, you would like to ask Amina anything.
غادي نجاوب واحد السؤال very quickly. لا كيفاش تولي teacher in the US. غادي نجاوبكم واحد الحاجه. To become a teacher in the US, انا نعطيكم الستاج الاول, اوكي, بعد غادي نمشيو للستاج الاخر. To become a teacher in the US, كتجي مثلا كتقرا الباتشلرز, ولا عندك الباتشلرز نقولوا كتقرا الماسترز, ولكن ضروري كتاخذ واحد الحاجه سميتها teacher license. لما كانش عندك teacher license ما كتقريش في امريكان. No, sorry, كتقدر تقري, ما فيهاش فلوس, ما فيهاش, كتقدر دير سوايع هكا صغار ولا, ولكن ما كتقريش public school. باش تقري في public school which is a lot more money, خاصك تاخذ teacher license. وهم عندهم بحال لي زيشيل. مثلا انا ديرنييرمون, انا دابا ساكنه في كولورادو دنفر, غادي نمشي لهيوستن, غادي نمشي لتكساس. منين دفعت الخدمه وقبلوني وداك الشيء, بحال لي زيشيل قالوا لي اوكي شحال من عام انت كتقري, اوكي 8 سنين 7 سنين انت كتقري في امريكان, اوكي هافي انتيا زائد عندك الماستر. سو الا كان شي واحد تيقري 7 سنين وعنده الباتشلرز, they're gonna make more money than less money than me. وإلا كان شي واحد كيقري وعنده PhD, they're gonna make more money than me. Does that make sense?
So I see. The more your certificates and the more money you get. That's also the case for everywhere, I guess.
Yes, yes. Someone asked me, is it necessary to have a TOEFL 100%? If you're coming to study here, you have to have a TOEFL.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have a TOEFL to, and I think you have to have a good grade in TOEFL, right?
To be honest, أنا ما درتش TOEFL because I convinced them that I don't need it.
Because you had a BA in English studies?
They really don't care if you have a BA, but but I also was here and I was like, hey, I want to meet the committee that gives these scholarships and I want to talk to them. وشتي أنا ديما تنقول للناس في أمريكان, you have to have the courage to ask. The difference between you and somebody who has that thing is because they have the nerve to ask. So ديك الحشمة وديك الشيء ما كتنفعش. Also, I want to say something قبل ما ننسى. Some of your students are getting in touch with me asking me باش نعطيهم ماتيريال الباك. Unfortunately أنا ما عنديش ماتيريال الباك. I would love to help but I don't know how. ما عندي حتى شي حاجة because أنا ما كنقراش الباك. ومنين تنكون تنقري دوك التلاميذ الباك the way we do it كيعطيوني مثلا شي باك قديم كنصلحوه together and then through the correction كنهضروا على rules ولا you know what I mean. So but ما عنديش مقرار.
Yeah, sure, I see. It's you can Google it, guys. There are many ways you can get these things. It's easy. So I have a question for you. I see that you're the kind of person, or you're the kind of girls that have this. You're not like the shy kind or the shy type. You have a personality. You have a strong personality. I can see that from your words, of course. How did you acquire this? Because as you said, the difference between someone who has something and someone who doesn't is because they don't speak, they don't ask, they don't have the courage to do certain things. And how do you acquire this personality? How did you develop this? No, or a question another way. Is Amina now in 2020 the same one back then when she moved? So what changed? Oh
my God. Literally, كنت خارج ثروالي. I'm sorry, there's no other way for me to say it. I was shy. People used to take advantage of me. I used to say yes a lot. But you know when people ask me... Yeah. You know what? When people ask me this question, how did you become the person you are today? And I always say, life happened. When life happens to you and life throws shit at you, you have two choices. You can either let it bring you down, or it's gonna bring you down, and you might stay there or get up and get your life. And that's exactly what I did. I got up and get my life. But to answer your question in a more concrete way, listen to me. I always tell this to my students because my students are the sweetest. Some of them, Mr. Kemli. Sure. And some of them are just shy. They're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I should ask. And I always say, if there is a table and people are sitting on the table, don't ask them for permission to sit on the table. Grab a chair and make yourself comfortable in the table. Because إلا كنتي يقدر يكون عندك البوتنسيال ديال العالم وتكون جالس في شي بلاصة وجالس ومسكين وداير راسك مسكين، راه الناس ما غيقولولكش اجي انت باينه فيك بوتنسيال، اجي انت هاك تفعل هادي. Nobody's gonna save you if you don't save you. Really, like this is how life works. وsometimes كتلقى بنادم with less potential than us and they have more or they achieved more, not because they're smarter but because they dared to ask. شنو ولكن نقول لك علاش people don't ask. Because people are afraid of rejection. People are afraid. شنو غتختار انت؟ يقول لك شي واحد لا غتعوق، غتولي معوق، غطير لك سنه، غيتحيد لك السؤال، صافي قال لك شي واحد لا move on next. Like you really have to develop a thick skin. Like okay I'm gonna ask for this. وحنا مسلمين تنأمنوا بالمكتاب، ولكن ما غنبقاوش جالسين كنقولوا يا ربي طيح عليه شي مكتاب. No sis, that's not how it happens. You have to ask for things, work for them. You know what I mean? And there's no أنا ديما تنقولها أن دوك اللي تيحشموا بزاف it can be really crippling. It can be really crippling because you might miss so many opportunities that maybe life presented to you because أنت كتحشم. I can tell you so many times of situations راه نقدروا نبقاو جالسين هنا نهار كامل but I can think of many situations in which I approached my boss and I نعطيكم قصة صغيرة please.
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
I'm not and I want
10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm telling you this story ماشي باش نوريكم أنني أنا واعرة، باش نعطيكم واحد العبرة ديال. So واحد النهار كان طاروا لي شي مشاكل شخصيه بزاف وخسرت كلشي. I literally was homeless in the street but I found a job. ولقيت وما كانش عندي اللايسنس ديال تيتشينغ، كان عندي غير ماسترز. ما كانش عندي الحق انني نخدم في البابليك سكول، ولكن if you have a masters ولا يمكن لك تخدم كمساعد الاستاذ. اوكي كيسميوها paraprofessional.
Yeah.
واحد النهار I applied for a paraprofessional job. paraprofessional job. You help the teacher. Maybe you make copies, you make you grade exams. كتعاون الأستاذ الرئيس في القسم. ولكن هاد البارابروفيشنال واحد لو تاخد كبير بزاف، تقدر دير بزاف د المهام. مشيت قالوا لي غتبداي نهار الاثنين تفركس داكشي د المغرب. مشيت قالوا لي الخدمه ديالك غتكوني جالسه في الباب بوابه وتبقاي تقولي لبنادم بليز ساين هير وهذاك الباب ديال واحد البلاصه سميتها the hope center in a school. هذاك الهوب سنتر كانوا تيمشيو له غير الكسالى باش تو كاتشاب. شويه بقيت كنهضر مع الاساتذه، كل نهار تنهضر مع استاذ تنقول له انت شنو عندك؟ تيقول لي عندي باتشلرز. انت شنو عندك؟ عندي اسوسييت ديجري. انت شنو عندك؟ عندي الباك. كنلقى راسي انا بالماستر اللي جالسه في الباب. مشيت وانا نقول للمديره ديالي listen, I don't know why you're not using my skills and my assets there. I'm not supposed to be at the door. And then she said, what do you mean? I have a master's degree. Nobody in this room has a master's degree. Use me. And I speak 3 languages. Blah, 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 blah. قالت لي ولكن ما يمكنليناش نخدموك لداخل حيت غنحتاجو شي واحد للباب. وانا نقول لها well نقدروا نديروا النوبه على الباب انا والاساتذه الاخرين. والاساتذه الاخرين كرهون. ماشي في الاول ما عجباتهمش، وفي الثاني honestly when we started working together بقيت كنصايب لهم كتسو داك الشيء بنادم عجبو لها. But if I didn't ask for that opportunity, do you think كان غيجي شي واحد يقول لي اجي
You would be staying there for the whole of your life.
Oh yeah, I would be. So hopefully that story made sense.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, this life is really interesting, and the people here are enjoyed listening to you and listening to your stories. And many people are putting comments here that they see you as like a model, they see you as a person that they should follow its path. And actually, I say, why not? Yeah, she has moved from Morocco to the States to teach Americans. This is not something easy. So, and she's got a great personality, and she can speak 3 languages, right?
Well, I mean, everybody does في المغرب. كلش كيهضر بالعربية وبالفرنسية وبالانجليزي. We are straight, yes.
French and English and Arabic. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if the guys here are still, because we still have some 3 to 5 minutes, I don't think 4 minutes. If you have some questions, guys, for Amina, very briefly, very quickly, or if you have something to add before we finish.
Thank you guys for your time today, for hanging out with me, because I know you could be doing anything, but you're here. So shukra bzaf for your invitation. It's always good to connect with Moroccans, you know.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and I'm looking forward actually to repeat this live with you, to go guest next time maybe. Go guest.
وقبل ما ننسى غادي نحط maybe you can even put the more, or me, I can do that for people to to get information.
Yeah, sure. And guys, go and follow Amina. She's got some pretty content, so you can follow her. And yes. Yeah.
Somebody is asking me about Canada. I have no idea about
different story. It's a different story. I think Canada is not. I think it's easier.
No information.
It's easier, I guess, than the States. It's easier to apply for Canada scholarships. So thank you so much, Amina. It was so nice talking to you, and a very nice opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and thank you, guys. Go ahead and follow Amina. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
This live will be saved if you want to rewatch it again. It's on my profile if you want.
Fuck Trump. Bye.